Hello, you bastard!
Alright, guys. Stone Sour's Hydrograd. First time I've ever bothered to pick up an album, all because of some stupid controversy between Corey Taylor and Chad Kroeger, who Chad Kroeger started it instead of Corey Taylor, because most of us know Corey Taylor's kind of become up there with not knowing when to open his mouth sometimes. Between that of Gene Simmons and Ted Nugent, although apparently Ted Nugent's decided to be smart and not start any more shit. But the difference is at least with Corey Taylor, I think amongst all of them, at least he tries to back his shit up. And album-wise, it was basically got to the point because of this feud that it wound up being Feed the Machine versus this album. And this album, all it needed to do at this point, from what I heard, the parts 1 and 2 of the last couple albums that I'm blanking on, forgive me, I am not a huge Stone Sour fan, or else I would have bought all these albums. But I will tell you, after listening to this, I feel stupid for having not listened to these albums, or have these in my catalog. Maybe almost the same thing feeling for Slipknot. Maybe, I don't know. All I do know is that I enjoyed this album. I had fun with this album, and you could feel like the band themselves, and especially Corey Taylor to a certain degree, is having fun. Is having fun with it, with this album. I mean, holy crap! Just he's even having fun promoting this album, I believe. Going as far as to help the rock. I love the new rock trailer, dude. Luke, I don't know what you did. But I like it. You already know that in the comments, but I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, man. Of course, following that, leading into following, of course, this opening track of YSIF, trying to remember what it stands for. I'm blanking, whatever. It's a fun intro track. It's an intro track, but it's a fun intro track regardless. Type A Personality, as it's kind of pronounced, even though it's spelled a lot weirder. If you can see there. See? Shit. Alright. Knievel's Landed, the title track. But the tracks that mostly have been released, mostly singles, tracks 5 and 6, song number 3, and Fabulous. Kind of also mispronounced, but really it really is just a joke. Fabulous is really less. Gets them every time. It's literally in the song. It's like, you kind of can't help but kind of snicker at it. But in a good way, not like a cringe face to palm kind of way. Even though there will be people out there who will think that. Or at least certain Nickelback fans, maybe. I don't know. I know some. I'm kind of in a band with some people that are, but you know, that's probably part of the reason of why I had to review Feed the Machine. So I. And plus, I wanted to be able to like it, so I didn't get shit on. But you know, at the same time, and luckily, I did genuinely like the album. Surprisingly, I did. I didn't think I would, but I guess I just have a certain immunity to like the Dark Horse, sort of the Silver Side Up to Dark Horse era of the band, and I hadn't had a chance to listen to The State until like a few months ago, when people started certain particular guys started like Rock Critic and them started quoting The State as the best thing they've ever done. Even though it's not saying much, but regardless of that, even the best thing that Nickelback has done in years can't compare to even an album that may, to some people who have caught up with their discography, consider it kind of one of their weaker releases. Even though for me, I don't understand why. Because this is strong enough to where I want to go back and listen to their back catalog, you know? I'm sorry for the shakiness of the cam. I'm not sure why it's doing it right now. But, I mean, Knievel's Landed has been great. I mean, song number 3 to me is one of my favorites tracks that hit me pretty hard. That kind of hit me. It's sort of a fucked up love song. Or a messed up love song for those of you who can't handle F-bombs. I know who you are. You're not even watching it anyway, so why do you care? If you take a step towards me, you will take my breath away, so keep you close and I'll keep my secrets safe. No one else has ever loved me. No one else has ever tried. I never understood how much I could take. Then I saw the worst was over when I laid my eyes on you. It was all that I could do to know my place. Out of all the past illusions, out of all the dreams come true, I was gone until I finally saw your face. If you cried, and of course the chorus, if you cried out for me, if you reached out for me, I would run into the storm just to keep you here with me. I have gone beyond my years. I've wasted half my life, but I found it all in you. Did I save you? 'Cause I know you saved me too. Let me take a step towards you. Let me feel you in my hands. Let me cross this line and show you where it leads. There's a darkness down inside me that I know we'll both enjoy, and it's screaming from within to set it free. I have left this bloody nightmare in my wake, but out of sight. All I want is devastation by design. Out of all the past confusion, out of all the common spite, just tell me I am yours, 'cause you are mine. It doesn't really matter. And of course there's a solo from Chooch. I guess it would have been Jim if he was still in the band, but whatever. It doesn't really matter what you do or say. I'll never, or anyway, 'cause when I'm dying for you, I'll never felt so alive. I know you've saved me too. I mean, or at least, of course, it goes into chorus between those two bars in particular, but there's something about, or at least more in particular, the chorus and its first verse is where I mostly hits me hard. At least in terms of where I feel I am in my relationship, or at least, and maybe certain lines taken out of the context that it seems to be said here. Yes, I'm chewing gum, so what? But I enjoy this song, and they've definitely experimented with certain elements, but they mostly do it very few, and they give you what you've been craving for most of the time. And then Ministries is fine. A lot of these others, I mean, some of it does feel a little bit to the going by the motions, but it's not going through motions, but you could still tell there's a sense of fun in what they're doing. Saint Marie is probably one of my favorite of the more interesting and different tracks on the record, because it's kind of a country song, or it's more like a laid-back acoustic song that happens to utilize slide guitar to make it come across like a country song, or at least in an outlawish kind of way, like a outlaw country style love song, maybe. I don't know how else to put it. I wouldn't necessarily go as far as Red Dirt, but you know, I mean, it's kind of another one of, that's the thing, the ones that come across as those. The reason why I say this is because the love songs that sort of from even on Feed the Machine do kind of come off a little but yeah. It's whatever with that, but although a little bit after that it does kind of start to fade off, though the way they end some of these tracks, like either Friday Nights or one of the tracks on coming near the end, I think it's either Friday Nights or Whiplash, I don't know if it's Friday Nights, Whiplash Pants or what, but let's see here. I think it's either Whiplash Pants or that you hear when he ends the song, when Corey ends the song with his scream, and he's just fuck, and just seems like he just throws the mic down. Oh, it's like, damn, son. It's kind of an interesting moment on the record, I'll tell you that. there's so much other things I can say, but it does seem like 15 tracks may seem a little long, but here and there it worked. I mean, they could stop at least by the 12th track. They could have stopped there, maybe. But I understand them ending the album, I guess, the way that they could, with When the Fever Broke, I guess. Overall, without getting too in depth, I enjoyed this album. It's definitely, they didn't even need to sweat the whole thing with Chad Kroeger and Nickelback, all that, because they made a better album than them. Whether or not, even their potentially considered weakest album in their discography is still better than one of Nickelback's strongest. The Nickelback-Lite comment just makes no sense to me. He might have made a point on Slipknot, but I never bothered to check it out because I didn't think it would have mattered. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I would go as far as to say that Chad's face looks like your foot, Corey, but yeah, what? It probably would after you fucking kicked him in the face, but which is probably what he was trying to get at, but or what you were trying to get at, Corey. I don't know. I doubt you're seeing this. I'm a measly little fly compared to you, anyway. So you kick more ass on stage than I will ever. So. Because I'd probably be just in my shoegaze corner right now with my guitar at the moment. At least that seems to be the vibe I will be getting for a while, until I start getting out of my comfort zone. But anyway, I enjoyed this album. You guys, Stone Sour kicked ass with this record, as everyone should have known anyway. So yeah, I want to say this album does definitely rock pretty hard. And yeah, what did you guys think of the new Stone Sour album? Comment below, let me know. As always, guys, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. Again, sorry for the late tardiness of this, but hopefully if you guys were patient enough and wanted to hear what I had to say, especially after the Feed Machine album, there you go. It's very short, not as a little crooked on the delivery, I'll admit, but I think I made some good points, so there you go. And hopefully I'll see y'all next video. Again, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. Take care, y'all.